All right, we are live on YouTube. Let's get live on Instagram real quick. Let's get live on Instagram real quick. All right. Let's get live. Okay, we are live on Instagram as well. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, family. Come on in, family. Y'all come on in. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Let me put this cash app up here just in case. You may want to donate to your brother. Salam alaikum. Peace and blessings. Come on in, family. We want to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly today. Y'all heard me? We want to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly today. Right? Let's see how I'm going to pin this. Surpass knowledge. There we go. And we want to pin this. All right. All praise is due to Allah. Y'all come on in, family. Come on in. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger and exalted Christ. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the extension of the Son of Man. I would like to greet every brother and sister with the greeting words of peace, which we say in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings, family. This is your brother, Knowledge 5845 on the gram, author determined to change, student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan by the way of the eternal leader, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I can never thank Allah enough for appearing in the person of Master Father Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. I pray to Allah God that every brother and sister is alive and well on this Monday morning. Always, brothers and sisters, give God thanks, give God the praise. A lot of time we got so much going on, and I understand life is life, right? But what is life without the acknowledgement of the reality of the one who gave us life? And I know it sounds cliche, but that's reality. We should always have God, the supreme, that intelligence that's keeping us going every single day when we don't even understand how we are going. Man, we should definitely be giving praise to that. I don't care what the situation looks like. I don't care what your condition looks like. We should always be giving Allah the praise. Now, let me say this, family. I'm your brother, right? And a lot of times, when I go live, like I say, I'm not here to go live to, act like I'm a teacher to you. No, I'm a student. I'm your brother. I just like to share my inspiration. I like to share my motivation. I like to share my determination with you. I like to go live to tap into my brothers and sisters and connect that energy, because energy is not created nor destroyed. It's transferred. So when I'm studying, when I'm reading, when I'm reflecting, I'm striving to self-improve. When I'm in darkness, not only am I thinking of myself, I'm thinking about my brothers and sisters. I'm thinking about my people. I'm extending my reality. If you see me going back and forth, that's because I'm on YouTube as well. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, the YouTube is Winford X. All right. It's going to be some times where I'm just building up my YouTube platform at this particular time. It's going to be times where I start going live just on my YouTube. And there would be certain things that would be exclusive that I will be talking about, that I will be building on a certain curriculum, we will be doing that on the YouTube, right? So subscribe to the channel, Winford X. Again, I tell you all the time, this channel is my platform. Determine to Change. Y'all already know I'm the author of Determine to Change, right? This book right here. This is me. This is me. I'm the author of this book, Determine to Change. I want to share with you how I was motivated, for one, to write the book, to be inspired. How I was inspired to write the book, right? Determine to Change. And it's no different from nobody else's life. It just came through my experiences, personal things that I was going through. So the name of the title of this live, family, is what? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. One thing that I realize and I know is that in life, we're going to experience all three. So we might as well prepare ourselves the best way that we can for the good, bad, and the ugly. See, in the times of bad and ugly, we know to call on a higher power or a higher intelligence, even if we haven't been practicing knowing that reality is present. But when we get into a situation that is bad and that is ugly, we tend to call on something higher than ourselves, but it's in ourselves, right? We consciously know that. We consciously know that. But it's just a lot of things around us that will distract us from being able to really tap into that understanding and be able to practice it and bring it to fruition. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's been through that. Peace to my brother Bam on YouTube. My brother is always supporting his brother, man. All praise is due to Allah. Beautiful, beautiful brother, man. You always showing your gratitude. You always showing your determination. You always showing your inspiration, man. And believe it or not, when my brothers and sisters come on and I see y'all names and I'm seeing the same names, that makes me feel good because it lets me know that you are being attentive to the things that I am saying. These things that I'm saying and I'm sharing are not just for me. These things are not just coming from me. It's an inspiration. And I feel peace. No matter if I'm in a dark situation, if I may be in a dark space at times, but I know I'm not the only one that's in dark spaces. So therefore, that's why I love to share my presence with my brothers and sisters, man, because this is something that we need. We can't be embarrassed. How can we be embarrassed from our situation? Walaikum salam, my sister Jean. Janae. How can we be embarrassed? Praise be to Allah. My brother Maceo said he's always going to be here if not working or just doing something with the family. Praise be to Allah, man. Because let me tell y'all something about the good, the bad, and the ugly. There is no escaping it. Yes, sir. Love you too, brother. There is no escaping the good, bad, and the ugly. So when I'm studying, when I'm in the battlefield, when I'm on the battlefield, when I'm in my cocoon, I'm not only studying and reflecting these things for myself. Yes, my personal life, I'm striving to correct certain things that I don't like of myself. How can I speak about other people when I see things that I'm disappointed in myself with? That's a reality that we have to talk about. Those are the realities that we have to speak about. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to talk about somebody else's life. But the reality is when the button goes off, when the live is over with, when you shut down your social media for the rest of the day, You got to go back to your life. You got to go back to the reality of your condition. So what I strive to do is spark an atom in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit. And again, I am a student of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, guided and taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So by me being a student, my testimonies and my experiences of being in prison at the age of 19, coming back to society at 34 years old, that's a big jump. I missed a lot of things. We're going to experience the good, bad, and ugly. But God revealed something to me. God revealed something to me on the path that I'm on. Listen, I did penitentiary time. You may not have done any time, but there is no escaping the good, bad, and the ugly. You're going to have to endure that. So the next question is, how do we endure it? We know we're going to run into it. How do we prepare ourselves for that? Economically, it's definitely a way that we should prepare ourselves. But guess what? When we've been deprived our whole life, a lot of us, we think that money is the solution because we've never had a lot of it. Every time we growing up, we looking around, we always short on this. We always short on that. I can't get this. I can't get that. This world that we live in, man, it's a cold world, but at the same time, it's beautiful. It's a cold, beautiful world that we are living in. So we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to embrace it. We can't run from it. We can't get around it. So I want to be able to share some things, some jewels that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is sharing from his own life. So what I do is I listen to him. I listen to a master teacher who was a master student. We get so caught up in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Whoa, he's an extraordinary man. He is. But what he's showing us is the same thing that we have in ourselves. We have the same capabilities. We have the same resources. What are we here for? That's the question. What are we here on earth for? We're all seeking an identity. We're all seeking, what is my purpose? That's a beautiful thing to be able to even question your existence. Why am I here, man? And let me say this to you, family. Once we come into a position to where we asking ourselves the question, why am I here? Oh man, that's a blessing. That's a blessing from God. To ask yourself the question, that means that the God that's in you has turned on something inside of yourself. The God in you wants us to ask that question. Why am I here? Don't think that you're crazy when you ask yourself that. Because there is a response on the way. There is a response on the way, but in order to recognize the response, there are steps that we have to go through. There are steps that we have to go through. before we can even recognize the response of why I'm here. Listen to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. He said, the greatest joy and peace of mind is when a person finds the purpose for their being, for their existence, for their life on this planet, and the peace of mind comes not just when you dream about the purpose, but when you actually are working toward the fulfillment of your purpose. I'm going to read that again, family. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the greatest joy and peace of mind, how many of us would love a peace of mind? We get up and we go to work every day. We continue to create children. We have to pay bills. People dying. We going through funerals. We lose loved ones. People getting incarcerated. You're not just quite comfortable. You're not satisfied with where you at in life. All of us are there. All of us have experienced that in some form or fashion. So we buy things that we really can't afford we're looking for the emotion, the feeling. I'm going to get this, even though I know I'm not in the position to get it. I'm searching a feel. I'm searching an emotion. Yes, we talk about rising above our emotions into the thinking of God, but it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. We know what the scriptures say. We know how beautiful it sounds. But when we shut down social media, the reality is right there, man. So that means that we are continuously set in the valley of decision every single day. Every single day that allow us to wake up, the valley of decision is right there. It's right there. It's right there. So when I go live, I'm telling you, I'm going through the same thing. That's what I like about my lives, man. I go through darkness every single day. But it's light there. It's light present. It's mixed. It's mixed. But in order to continue to endure as we are in the darkness, we have to be conscious. We have to understand the condition and the situation that we're in. And it takes time to do that. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says the greatest joy and peace of mind is when a person finds the purpose for their being. What is your purpose? Why are you here? I'm talking to every brother and sister that's on the live. You need to ask yourself, what is your purpose? Why am I here, man? Time is steady ticking. Even though we can't control time, we can control time. Oh, man, I don't think y'all heard what I said, family. Please listen to your brother, man. Even though we can't control time, we can control time. How do we control time? By literally researching from within, what is my purpose? Once you find your purpose, time does not exist. Once you find your purpose, it's not about time. It's about you being in what you was brought here to do. We know that we're not going to be here forever. We're not going to be here forever. But your purpose will. your purpose will remain. This is what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is talking about when he's saying beating time, mastering death. See, when we look at that from a corner perspective, it doesn't make sense. What does he mean? What does he mean? Mastering death. Nobody can master death. The mind is the greatest thing that Allah ever created. So when we talk about finding our purpose for our existence, for our life on the planet, and that peace of mind that comes with that, we're trying to transform the dream of our purpose into the reality. It's a lot of things that we have to experience before we get off into it. The title of the live is what? The good, the bad, and the ugly. We call on God when the bad and the ugly confronts us. Oh God, I need you. That's a natural thing to do. Because if we're created in truth, once something come up against us that's jeopardizing our peace or jeopardizing our uprightness, then the body is going to go into a protection phase. This is not good. Something that's approaching me, something that I found myself in, this is not good for me. So the body is going to automatically go into a protection mode. And that protection mode is truth that you was created in. So you call out, oh God, I need you. See, that's a natural reflection of your existence. God, I need you. See, our existence knows that it's connected to a higher reality. We just have to catch up with our spirit. We have to catch up in our brain, not our mind. Our mind bears witness to truth, but our brain is different than truth, than the mind. The brain has to catch up to the truth because we have been bamboozled, we've been hoodwinked, we've been deceived of the truth in our brains, but our mind bears witness to the truth. I hope that makes sense. Walaikum salam, my brother Vincent. Always an honor, brother, to have you on. Always an honor for you to be represented for your brother, man, and for yourself, and for all of the rest of the brothers and sisters. So, family, I can never thank Allah enough for every situation that I've been in, every situation that I've been in right now. Man, we look at some stuff and we be in some bad times. Uh-oh, there go that word bad again. Sometimes we find ourselves in some ugly times. Uh-oh, there go that word again. Even in our good times, we should praise God in the good. When everything is flowing, when the milk and honey, as described in the scriptures, the milk and honey is just a representation of God's favor. Milk and honey is things are flowing correctly, striving correctly, operating correctly. That is a representation of a state of mind that you're in. It represents milk and honey. Honey is sweet. It's good for you. It's medicine. Milk is a food, a solid food that is good for you. So when we talk about milk and honey in the scriptures, it is referring to a condition and a mindset and a perspective in your life. So we're talking about the good, bad, and the ugly. So even in the good times, we're making sure that we're letting Allah know that we're thankful. Because we know that the bad and the ugly is right around the corner. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says the worst motivation is to choose to be something for the sake of money or vanity. Uh-oh. Oh, we finna get into a deeper subject. All praise is due to Allah. Let's read it again. The worst motivation is to choose to be something for the sake of money or vanity, rather than for the sake of service and the glorification of God, who is the giver of the gift. I've been that. I've been that. The worst motivation is to choose something for the sake of money. I've chose certain things for the money. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. See, my platform is about reality. It's things that we did for the money. It's things that we did for vanity. We look at our situation. We talk about the teachers. We talk about having faith, exercising these. But when the reality is right in front of you, you got to make a decision. A lot of times we make the wrong decision because guess what? We panic. We fear the condition. We fear the situation that we're in. It's easy to get up here and put on a bow tie and put a suit on and cover your hair up and say assalamu alaikum and all this and the good brother this and the good sister that. It's easy to do that. But I be the first to raise my hand. The worst motivation is to choose to be something for the sake of money. How many of us have made a lot of money, but yet and still you feel numb? You feel alone. You feel dark. You feel bad. You feel ugly. So clearly, money is not the end game. Clearly. Did you hear what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, family? The worst motivation. Let me say this. Coming experiencing. My father raised me. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I got whoopings. My father chastised me when I was in error. Coming up. Where I lived, it was full of crime. It was full of gang affiliations, drugs. The atmosphere was strong with that. So you find yourself in situations and conditions that whatever you see, you record that. That's a recording in your mind, the things that you see, and unconsciously, you slowly become a part of the things that you see every single day. You become a part of that unconsciously, not knowing. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said the worst motivation is to choose something for the sake of money. Well, when you shaped in iniquity, when you shaped in a place of all the things that are around you, that is a motivation, but it is the worst kind. But we don't know that. You're not conscious of that. So we hustle, we rob, we sell dope. Women, they strip, they dance. I know many brothers and sisters that sell dope that literally tell me, I don't want to do this. I'm tired of selling dope. And I'm sure you know someone who said that. I've seen beautiful, fine sisters in the strip club. Beautiful. They smile, smile, smile. They hearing all the time how bad they are. They hearing all the time, ooh, girl, ooh, you fine, ooh, you tough, ooh, you fine, ooh, you bad. I've literally talked to women who told me every time I hear that, I cringe, but I smile because the money is good. Every time a dude compliment me and say, ooh, girl, you so bad. Oh, you tough. I cringe. And I say, wow, damn. I cringe because I'm what? I'm tired of doing this. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was right and exact. The worst motivation is to choose to be something for the sake of money or vanity, rather than for the sake of service and glorification of God. Now, all of us can feel that. I've done things that I don't want to do, that didn't motivate me because the money is right. The money is okay. The money is right here. But is that my purpose? No. That's the challenge. That's the challenge as a human being. That's a hell of a thing. You got to go through the good, bad, and the ugly to get to your purpose. We got to experience all three before we can get to the purpose, family. We read in the scriptures where Jesus was going up the mountain and Satan was at him and Satan was trying to tempt him. I don't want us to picture some white, blonde hair, blue-eyed Caucasian European climbing up a mountain. If that's what you're thinking, I want you to get it out of your head right now. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what Jesus is talking. That's not what the scriptures is referring to. Jesus going up the mountain, being tempted by Satan. The mountain is the obstacles in our life right now. Some of us homeless. Some of us don't have a job. Some of us divorced. Some of us going through a breakup. Some of us going through a financial bankruptcy. All kinds of things. Those are the obstacles. That is the mountain that Jesus was climbing. Going to war with himself. That mountain is you in the mountain. But Satan comes along. Okay, let me show you this. Let me show you that. Sometimes we stop on the climb because we get tired. I want y'all to hear me, family. This live is not for me. This ain't for me. It's beyond me. But we get tired. We climbing this mountain. And what do? We stop. We stop climbing because I'm tired. So as we're tired, Satan, he tempts. And God is telling us, no matter if you stop or keep going or whatever you do, you have to, this is the only way that you can go. We're not dumb people. My brothers and sisters are not dumb at all. In fact, the things that I'm saying right now, you understand them because you're able to look in your own life and say, damn, I'm on the mountain right now. Shit, me too. I'm on the mountain right now too. It's times where I've stopped. And entertained Satan. We've entertained that. And after the entertainment is over with, we find ourselves still in the same spot. And we look and say, damn, the mountain is still there. Listen to what the minister said, family. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, you know, he was talking to Brother Jabril. He said, one of the hardest things for a student to take is a severe rebuke by the teacher. Uh-oh. Oh, man. I'm going to read that again. One of the hardest things for a student to take is a severe rebuke by the teacher. It says, the fool despises correction. The wise man changes often, but the fool will not. So at some point, this is where the live comes in at. This is where I'm inspired to go live because, not because I'm focused so much on getting up here to entertain, but I'm more focused on, okay, a fool despises correction. It's times where I've despised correction. I've been a fool. That's my point in case. So I know if I've been a fool where I've despised correction, I know my brothers and sisters have too. So let's go live and let's be inspired to be determined to change. See, I wrote my book, but just because it says determined to change does not mean that it's over with. This only means I've expressed myself in a way to extend myself in the best of ways to my fellow brothers and sisters. That's all that means. Are the trials heavy? Hell yeah, they're heavy. Does the days get dark? Super dark. But I want you to know that you're not alone. So I speak about it. And I will allow you to just connect and relate. Oh, yeah. That's it, brother. That's it. I know about that. Of course you do. I don't care if you're on the West Coast, you in the South, the East Coast, Midwest. I don't care where you at. You are in existence. We're all going to experience the good, bad, and the ugly. One of the hardest things to take is a severe rebuke by the teacher. How many times have grandmama? How many times have mother and father? How many times have people, teachers, have seen us, cared about us, seen our life, this and that, friends, family, Anybody can be a teacher in your life if it's something coming from a righteous place, if it's coming from pure intentions, and they're giving you wisdom. That's something to learn from. But we judge this person and we look on the surface of this person because we don't have a spiritual eye or a spiritual ear or a spiritual heart or a spiritual mind to receive what the person is saying. We're so carnal, we reject the person. And while we're rejecting the person, we're rejecting the divine message. We're rejecting the medicine that is coming from the vessel. Never look down, family. Never make fun of anyone's situation. Always think about the good, bad, and the ugly. We're going to experience all three. So it says, one of the hardest things for a student to take is a severe rebuke by the teacher. The fool despises correction. The wise man changes often, but the fool will not. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked this question. So I will ask you the question. Well, what will make the fool change? That I'm looking at the fool in myself. So as I'm talking to you, if I'm looking at the fool in myself, you should be looking at the fool in yourself. What will make the fool change? Listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan answer. It's simple. It will be when he or she comes into a greater knowledge or understanding. A greater knowledge and understanding to what? A greater knowledge and an understanding to the good, bad, and the ugly. See, when the bad touches, when the ugly touches, we have to learn from it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to experience all three. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, what would make a fool change? Before I'm able to change as a fool, I have to do foolish things. I have to be put in a situation to where I'm doing foolish things. It hurts when you have to climb back from the top, from the bottom. It hurts. It's painful. It's embarrassing. But God is saying that's good. That's what it's supposed to do. Now that you recognized all of that, now it's time for you to turn towards me and just focus on me. All of that is around, but I just wanted you to be conscious of it. I wanted you to see it. I hope I'm making sense, family. I hope I'm making sense. So we find ourselves in this condition. You feel numb. You feel like, damn, I'm a loser. My value is not up. Your heart beating fast. You're having anxiety. This is the experience of the bad and the ugly. Determined to change is not easy. That's not easy. It's not easy. That is the mountain that Jesus went up, that Satan was tempting Jesus. He was tempted. That's the mountain that I'm telling you about. The good, bad, and the ugly. That's the mountain. Those are the obstacles. It's hard. It's a challenge, but there's a way out. There's a way out. Let me tell y'all something. When I read the Quran, when I read the Bible, I was telling you about when you wash your clothes the other day. When you wash clothes and you finish washing your clothes and you dry your clothes and you fold your clothes and you put your clothes where they're supposed to be, once you go take a shower and you come back and you put something on that you just washed and dried, oh, it's a feeling, right? It's a good feeling. It's something that you feel. It's a good feeling. You feel like you've accomplished something, which you have. It's the same way when you start getting by yourself and start reading. I know it can be trouble. Sometimes you just be like, man, my life is, I don't know which way to go. I don't know the next move, but watch this right here. Sometimes I just get my Quran and I just get to myself and I start reading. I don't care from where. I just get it and just start reading. I just open it up and I just start reading it. And as I'm reading it, literally, I'm getting the feeling of washing my clothes, drying my clothes, taking a shower and putting my clothes on, and I'm feeling refreshed. As I'm reading the words of inspiration. It is not the words that are on the page of the book. That is just a reminder of what's being able to be unlocked, that is already inside of me, that is already inside of you. So we say to ourselves, okay, I need to study more. I need to take time out, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of my time, and I need to make this every day. I need to set this time every day to read the scriptures. But we don't do it. We don't do it because we feel like we got it. I got it from here. We do it 2 or 3 days and then we say, oh, I got it from right here. No, man, we don't have it. You feel anxiety. I'm going to tell you something. When you feeling like that, when the world is pressing you, pick up your Bible, pick up your Quran, and start reading. It's good to watch videos of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's good. That's great. But let me tell you something about reading, though, the power of reading. I'm not talking about turning on your phone. Okay, I need some inspiration. Let me watch TD Jakes. Let me listen to this. Let me listen to that. No. Another form of healing is reading, because guess what? When you read, you don't get to hear no other voice. You're not hearing it come from another vessel. That's good. But you need it to when you read, it needs to be intimate. That has to be intimate. It's just you and God. As you read the Quran, guess what's going to happen? You're going to put the mirror up. All kinds of good, bad, and ugly things are going to be revealed to you as you read. See, the Quran is a mirror. As you read, God is going to allow scriptures and ayats to jump out. Walaikum salam to my sister, Sheeta Baby, Sheeta Bay. And walaikum salam to my brother Jorge X. Always proud to see my sister and my brother, always supporting, always supporting. So listen to what the minister says. He says, another question. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to change jobs, but so confused and I get frustrated. Absolutely. I'm going to get to something. I'm going to get to something. Just hang on with me. I'm going to get to something. I'm almost finished. I'm almost ready to land this plane, brothers and sisters. The minister asks the question, well, how did you come into a greater knowledge? Yes, we got to go through the good, bad, and the ugly. You're down today, but God is going to show you favor. He's going to bring you from the position that you're in. It's just about the patience. It's just about the endurance and the work. Yeah, we talk about you want to do something and change your condition. You got to literally get up and go do it. That's true. You have to get up physically and go make it happen. That's true. But before we can get to that, before we can get to you are God and bread alone and you got to go do this and faith without works. You got to have the works before the faith and this and that. Oh, before that we can even have enough energy and enough strength to get up and fulfill the faith, there has to be something that will allow me to gather the energy to get up and manifest the work. The work is great, of course. But man, when you in a place of where it's so dark where you just don't know where to start. You don't know your next move because it's so much in front of you. You're striving to calculate all of these things at one time. How can you? Because it goes back to the worst kind of motivation is what? Choosing to be something for the sake of money or vanity. The worst motivation. Is to be working. Y'all already, the sister just said, I'm trying to change jobs. But guess what? I'm going to tell you something. And I'm a part of it. I'm not saying you, I'm a part of it. Y'all know how we work in one job. And we see and we say, hey, oh, okay. Man, I'm making $20 an hour over here. We're down the street. They making $23. Oh, that's $3 more. I'm finna go down here and get on over there. So I can be making $23 an hour. We can add it up. We can do the math on it. And I'm getting paid this. And I'm going to work these many hours. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Oh, they getting paid 25 on down the street. The number can keep going up. And it's going to continue to sound enticing. Oh, wow. Because we're looking at the number. But the number don't necessarily means the purpose. The number doesn't mean the purpose. In order to find your purpose, I'll be the first to tell you, it's grueling. It's grueling. It's pain. Finding your purpose can have you balled up at night, holding on to dear life. And you're still having to deal with loss of life. The world doesn't stop. Well, how do you come into greater knowledge? I need us to listen up. You had to be humble enough to recognize when it came. This is the master teacher speaking, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He says, how do you, the minister went through it. He's being asked, how did you? How did you come into a greater knowledge? You had to be humble. The good, bad, and the ugly will humble you. A wise person will be humbled in the bad, in the ugly, in the good. A wise person will be humbled by the experiences and situations. So the scripture says, whom the Lord loveth, he chastens much. Oh, that feels so good, don't it, y'all? Don't that feel good? For that to be said, this is where our faith kicks in. We need to hear words of encouragement. Whom the Lord loveth, he chastises much. He chastens much. Why? Because it is only through the chastening that the process of learning and growing is being refined in the student. Yes, it gets overwhelming, anxiety. Yes, but guess what? One of the signs that God is showing you that you are still in favor is you're still on the live to text, but it gets overwhelming sometimes. You're still breathing. You're still in existence. So God is saying, I'm not done with you yet. I'm going to squeeze you more. I'm going to make it more overwhelming until you have no choice but to turn to me. And when I say turn to God, I'm not saying running into no church, running into no mosque. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that feeling. The church and the mosque, nothing is greater than the temple of God, which is the human being. A church has its good qualities. A mosque has its good qualities. But the qualities are not greater going to a mosque, going to a church, than yourself. In order to change your life, you don't have to go to a church. You don't have to go to a mosque. You study the good, bad, and the ugly that God is allowing you to go through. Whom the Lord loveth, he chastens much. Why? Because it is only through the chastening that the process of learning and growing is being refined in the student. So if you cannot accept chastening, You cannot become refined in the field which you chose to become great. So it's going back again, brothers and sisters, to we have no choice but to submit. That's a hell of a challenge, ain't it? Dealing with the distractions, dealing with so much. But we try to fix problems ourselves. We try to find the solution ourselves with our limited knowledge. And God is saying, I have an unlimited source that you can feed on that will allow you to get over that obstacle. But before you have access at this unlimited source, you have to submit. That's the big challenge. Because we've already been accustomed to a certain shaping. We've been exposed to a certain lifestyle. Oh, Satan is powerful. Satan is powerful. Satan is powerful. His world is powerful. His world knows how to push our buttons. This is not an abracadabra thing. This is a studying observation. It takes a high skill for that. In closing, family, what beautiful wisdom of advice should we take when we know that we are ill, sick, a sick people? What beautiful wisdom of advice should we take? Meaning, not being civilized or even knowing how to recognize how to turn our lives around. When so much is in front of us of difficulties. I'm going to ask that question again before I close. What beautiful wisdom of advice should we take when we know that we are a ill, sick people, meaning not being civilized or even knowing how to recognize how to turn our lives around when so much is in front of us of difficulties? That's a hell of a thing, man. We all want to be able to be proven before we leave this earth. We all want to be someone of importance. We all want to be proud of ourselves. We want to be the protector of our families. We want to be able to fulfill our purpose. So listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan answer. What beautiful wisdom of advice should we take when we know that we are ill, when we sick people, and all of us are sick? So I don't want you to hear this and think about your brother or your sister or your cousin or your mom or your daddy or one of your children or your best friend or somebody else. No, oh yeah, because they sick. They need to be on the line hearing this. I need to share this live right here because they really need this. No, that is not what this is for. If you are here listening, all praise is due to Allah. We're all sick. And the things that we're feeding on It takes us farther away from our sickness, and it makes us, it influences us to focus on other people's sicknesses. We so quick to find somebody else's fault or their sickness. We quick for that. Oh, look at them. Why? Because the things that we watch on social media, on television, the songs on the radio, everything is Satan's world. It's an influential world of deceptive intelligence, of destruction. So we are part of that. We are part of that. How do you know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a man of God, how do we know that he loves? How do we know that he loves us? Even if you don't follow the minister, even if you're not in the Nation of Islam, even if you're doing whatever you want to do in your life, how do we know that that man loves us? Because every time that he opens his mouth, he's always referring to self-improvement. This is who I'm talking about. For a lot of you who don't know, this is what I'm talking about. Self-improvement. This is a man of God who's after God's mind and heart. Self-improvement. We should all have these. If we love ourselves, man, self-improve. We're striving to self-improve. And he never sold us out. That's a fact. He's been offered millions, billions of dollars to just be quiet. How many of us can say that? How many of us right now, in our condition right now, with all our problems, and we thinking that if we were to be offered millions of dollars to be quiet, our whole life would be paradise from that point on. Knowing our condition, where you at in your life right now? I'm not telling you to answer that. I'm wanting you to think about that in yourself. I'm showing you how important and how deep this thing is. Boy, this is a spiritual warfare. This is deep, deep. Can you imagine where you at in your life right now and somebody knock on your door? You don't have a clue in your mind. Somebody just knock on your door and open up a briefcase of $1 million cash to you. And say, these are the instructions that I need you to do, but you can have the money now. You can have the money now. How many of us will receive that money? How many of us will say, okay, I know it's wrong, but I'm going to figure it out. I need the money, but I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to take the money and then I'm going to double back and then I'm going to do it this way. Oh, man. We've thought like that. I know I have. I've thought like that before. We've done things on lower levels for a lot less. for a lot less. I'm from the streets of Dallas. So one of the sayings that we used to say is, I kill for less. Oh, he think I won't get, man, I kill for less. We used to say that all the time coming up. Oh, man, he think I won't, oh, I kill for less. Not knowing how detrimental those words were. I kill for less. So in closing, let's listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan answer, family, and we can go ahead and get off the live. What beautiful wisdom of advice should we take when we know that we are a ill, sick people, meaning not being civilized or even knowing how to recognize how to turn our lives around when so much is in front of us of difficulties? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan answers and says, God created man and woman to face difficulty. God has ordained struggle. God has ordained pain for us to come into new realities. God has ordained this because these are the circumstances of life that manifest the quality of our character. Boy, boy, boy. That just gives me chills, family. See, when you hear something like this, I don't care where your life is right now, you can lay down and rest. How many of us are sleeping but not resting? I'll be the first to raise my hand. I sleep, but sometimes it's difficult for me to find rest. And I would just say, I would just say that. I don't want to go even deeper in it. Maybe at a later time. But I get sleep, but rarely do I get rest. Rarely do I get rest. So it says God has ordained this because these are the circumstances of life that manifest the quality of our character, our heart, the core of our being. If the heart is diseased, the person is indeed ill, sick. And we all are. We all are sick. We all are ill because of what we've been through. So it's about the character. Before we can get the bag, as we say, before we can get the money, we have to start shaping the character. See, we got to shape the character in the bad times, in the ugly times. Today's title of the live is The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. See? How do we shape? See, look, good is the reward. See, some people say, oh, Satan, he can give you good too. No, he can't. Satan don't never give you good. I heard people say that all the time. Oh, Satan, he blesses you too. That's not a blessing. That's not a blessing because you think it's a blessing. That's right. It don't, it's just, oh, Satan can bless you too. How? Giving me the things of my desire. doesn't make it a blessing. Because my desire is based on a limited knowledge. My desire is based on a limited knowledge. You better say it. See, the Quran doesn't lie. The Quran bears witness. So we so quick to say Satan blesses too. Oh, he'll give you good too. That's not what the wisdom of God says. He said it makes it seem fair seeming. That don't make it a blessing. That doesn't make it good. So in closing, I just wanted to come and share words of inspiration. That's where my spirit was this morning, brothers and sisters. That's where my spirit was this morning. It was there. So before I close out, this Saturday, God's will, I will be at the Pan-African Connection in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're around the area of Dallas-Fort Worth, it's going to be from 1 to 3. Saturday, December the 10th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I will be doing a book signing, right? This book right here, Determined to Change. This is my book. This book consists of, just let me give you a little synopsis before I log off. I was 19 years old when I went to prison. I was 19 years old when I went to a federal penitentiary. I didn't come home until I was 34 years old. Do I see a big difference? People ask me all the time, can you see a difference of being locked up that long, being in prison and coming home and striving to adapt to the streets and back to society? Yes. 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 Yes, I can see that. I can feel that. So I will be having a book signing. If you are in the Dallas area, you from the house, you from the town, this Saturday, December the 10th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., I will be having a book signing. I got to order more books. I got more books, but they're not going to be here by Saturday. So I have I think 40 books that I'm going to have that I'm going to have on my person. But more than anything, I just want you to come out so I'm able to speak to our brothers and sisters, to be inspired. Because nobody is going to save us. We have to be responsible for ourselves. So whatever your platform is, of your ideology, of persuasion, of religion, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What we're speaking about is what we all can feel. It ain't just Nation of Islam people up on this live right now. I've been having all kind of people bear witness to the feeling of the things that I've been saying. That ain't had nothing to do with your title, of your ideology, of your religious perspective. Didn't have anything to do with that. It was real. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So family, if you can, come on out. Come on out and hear your brother. Come on out and see your brother. We can take pictures, shake hands. And it's on to the next. It's on to the next, family. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Winford X, striving to build that up. I love the Instagram, Facebook, so. Facebook be kind of giving me problems, but we want to be able to continue to build this up and have an opportunity to continue to influence more and more. And eventually we'll start moving around in other cities to come and to speak to our brothers and sisters, those that feel like they are the misfits. I represent the misfits. I represent those that 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We can't leave them brothers and sisters behind. We have to be able to talk to them. We have to be able to talk to us so we can be comfortable in being able to say, yeah, man, I'm not there yet. So I'm not either. I'm not either. I'm not there yet either. So family, may Allah continue to bless every last one of you. Whatever you're going through, man, no matter how dark your situation is, light is always present. You know, I say that all the time. And I don't say that just to say it. I literally believe it. And, you know, it's been some tough, hard trials and tribulations that I've been dealing with. I've been doing, man. And this is a part of my peace. This is a part of my outlet that God allows me to have, you know, with my brothers and sisters, man. So may Allah continue to allow all of us to receive something of on high to bring us a little peace through the storms that we always have to go through. So with that being said, may Allah continue to bless you and your families. I greet you in the greeting words of peace, which we say in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum.